Be the shortest video that kind of goes over the trig that we've been doing in class. The calculator stuff is just not that difficult. You may have to watch this a couple of times. First and foremost, what we're doing right now is all in degree mode. So this caution up here is something that you need to pay attention to. Make sure your calculator is in degrees. So on the graphing calculators, hit mode, go down to the third line, make sure degrees is highlighted. If it's in radians, it's not going to give you the correct response. The quick way, what they're mentioning here is you can type sine 90 and it should come up 1. That lets you know that it is in degrees. If you've got it in degrees, then the things down here are not that bad. If it's just sine 49, that is exactly what you type. You type sine 49, and you just need the decimal. Now in trig, it's typically 4 decimal places. You'll need to look at the 5th to round to the 4th. So I got 0.7547. The next decimal place is a 0, so I'm just going to stop at the 47. I don't need to round up or anything. Okay. Now, same thing down here. The reason I'm scooting down to number 4 is I'm going to save these for just a second because those are the reciprocals. I don't have a secant button on my calculator and I don't have a cotangent button on my calculator. So the ones that you do have, whether it's sine, cosine, or tangent, those are fairly simple. And actually, let's just change this to one of them that we do have. Let's just do cosine. Okay, if you're going to do cosine of this angle, it doesn't matter that he's negative. Your calculator is going to be able to handle that. My answer is negative. You're just going to need to write that down. Okay? That's all there is to it. The tricky part, is what do you do with the reciprocal functions because you don't have a button? Well, you have to remember your reciprocal rules. This is why I was having you memorize all those things. The reciprocal of secant is cosine. So remember, we said secant was equal to 1 over cosine. So I can write this as 1 over cosine of that same angle. Just don't change your angle and do 1 over cosine. And that's exactly what you type. You type 1 divided by cosine 97.977. And I got negative 7.20. Now it says 587. So I need to round that to 59. Okay? Have to use your reciprocals. So down here I've got cotangent. I don't have a cotangent button. Then I know that 1 over tangent is the same thing. Keep your angle the same. So let's see here. That's going to be 1 divided by tangent, 51.4283. And I've got 0.79. And it's supposed to be 75 when you round. Okay, I had to round up. That's all there is to getting the approximations for trig values. Now guys, this is when you see the trig function and they give you the angle. When they give you the angle, you just type that thing right in. Boom. There is a little bit more to it when you're finding your angle measure. Okay, so make sure you notice this right up here at the top. Finding the angle measures right here. Use the inverse functions. This is your second button. You know, the little blue button up there in the top corner. You have to use that when you're looking for your angle. So do you see these little problems I got here for you? The angle is the variable. It is set up like a little equation, and you're looking for the angle. That makes things a little bit different. Okay, so again, if it's sine, cosine, or tangent, it's not real hard. We are going to just press. You got to press your blue button, and you got to press sine for this first problem, and then you're going to type in your decimal, 0.9677, and it gives you your angle. Now, typically it's going to tell you what to round to. I don't have it typed up there, so we can just round to the nearest degree, 75. Okay. So if I gave you one that said like tangent theta equals 1.547. Okay, you would need to hit second tangent and then whatever the decimal is. And then you can round to the nearest degree. Now the question comes in, again, what do you do with reciprocals? It's got a little different flavor to it. You've got to do the reciprocal thing, but now we're in an equation. So when you're in an equation, the old standard rule is what you do to one side, you must do to the other. So you're going to do the reciprocal of both sides. Now the reciprocal of secant is cosine. Well, that works out well because I have a cosine button. But you actually have to do the reciprocal of the other side. So you're going to turn him upside down. Now you're going to do exactly what we did before. I need to get rid of the cosine, so I have to hit the blue button, or the inverse cosine is specifically what we're doing, inverse cosine. And then I'm going to type in my fraction, 1 divided by 1.0546. And then if I'm going to round to the nearest degree, I've got 18.5, so I got to go up to 19 degrees. That's basically it. There's not much else that you could do here. If you wanted to, sometimes you're going to have word problems or situational problems where you might have something like this, and they say, hey, find the angle. You're supposed to know that tangent of theta, see, opposite, adjacent, tangent of theta would be 10 over 15. And once you set it up, you know, oh, I'm looking for my angle. So I'm going to hit inverse tangent, but then you can just type the fraction, 10 divided by 15. And then you can round to the nearest degree. I've got 33.6, so you can go to 34. Hope this helps. You just need to take some time and practice.